It's over, Janemba.
Janemba is the strongest villain of Dragon Ball Z. Chubby Janemba alone was capable of easily affecting the entire afterlife. Luckily, Super Saiyan 3 gave Goku enough power and reawakened his Saiyan brutality to mercilessly kill the base version. But this only resulted in Super Janemba appearing, and even though SSJ3 was able to keep up initially, it became hopeless as soon as Janemba started spamming Defragment. When Vegeta showed up to the rescue, for a moment it seemed like he figured it all out with that counter against his warp ability, but all it took was one touch for him to start crying again. I must say, for a prince of a warrior race, he cries a lot. But then comes Gogeta, the fusion that gives you results, unlike Vegeta, which is more for attention. The ruthless efficiency to disorientate, disarm, and kill was as clean as you can get. His power levels was so beyond that Janemba got his back blown out with glitter. The Saiyan Saga kicked off one of Dragon Ball's most iconic rivalries. At this point, Vegeta's base power level was more than double Goku's, but with Kaioken, Goku could multiply his power 2 to 4 times. That means in this beam struggle, Vegeta withstood a beam almost double his power level. But once Vegeta transformed into an Uzaru, the fight became hopeless for Goku. The 10 times boost dwarfed even Kaioken's max output. Luckily, the fodder gang stepped in. Without them, Goku wouldn't have survived, cementing Vegeta's first victory in their long rivalry.
Yes, time to die!
Goku vs. Cooler was a fight of back and forth aura forming. First we have base form Goku overwhelming Cooler, then Cooler reveals a higher form and overwhelms Goku, and as a bonus, he made sure to slip in a few poses here and there. And then finally we get Goku Super Saiyan form, right after he does an Android 16 move on this bird. Now it was time for Goku to show off again, so he decides to take a gut punch just to give a speech before sending him off to the sun. Frieza's back with a new form. He's stronger, shinier, and cockier, but no stamina to keep Goku entertained. Goldie really didn't realize just how much more powerful the Saiyans have become since the Namek Saga, to the point that Goku outright disrespects him with a 1-inch punch. Although, it is somewhat scary how Frieza closed the gap of almost 20 years of training with just 6 months of his own training.
What the? That's it!
This starts off with a pummeling of a lifetime, but somehow Gohan still attempts to aura farm.
We don't have to do this.
Not exactly sure what he was expecting from someone who literally has Saiyan cells, but upon discovering that Gohan has hidden potential, things escalated badly. Piccolo was absolutely fuming at Goku, but luckily for Goku, his bet paid off. Gohan's transformation was legendary. Not only did he swiftly take care of the baby cells, he delivered a body blow so vicious it activated the Bambi cells in Cell's legs, and that's when Goku seizes the opportunity to dip from his fatherly duties. This fight was purely a tutorial on how to disrespect. Not only was he using just air to do damage, he amputates Boo while still being in base form. The trash talk in itself was on another level. Even the hidden Miss Ninja technique he used only helped him hide the absolute violation that happened in there. Just when we thought it can't get worse, he turned Boo into a selfie stick, then used his antenna as a yo-yo. When we finally thought Boo has the upper hand by turning Vegito into candy, he made Boo look goofy swinging around in thin air.
Well, look who's talking. You got your strength from eating my sons and my friends. Or at least make me use my hands.
Goku was back 7 years after forsaking his fatherly duties, and he had pulled far ahead of Vegeta. Babidi's magic gave Vegeta the Majin boost, but even Babidi couldn't control the pride of a Saiyan prince.
I carry within me the pride of a prince!
Now that the playing field was even, he finally matched Goku. even slipped in a few bitch slaps. Their fight was raw and personal, both warriors holding nothing back. Well, Goku did technically have SSJ-3 in his back pocket. Nevertheless, the duel ended without a decisive winner, but it remains one of the most emotionally charged battles in Dragon Ball history, fueled by pride, resentment, and unspoken respect. Piccolo got his Kami update, becoming temporarily the strongest warrior on Earth, and he did not shy away from aura farming with his newfound powers by making 17 eat his own dirt. I mean, look at that smile, he is clearly proud of himself. This is Dragon Ball Z's most criminally underrated slugfest. Future Trunks' debut is probably the best character debuts in the franchise. They spent a good few minutes on just his fit. Unlike the other Saiyans, he doesn't let that power get to his head, he doesn't play around with his meal. A few seconds of watching Frieza tremble from PTSD was more than enough for Trunks before making sashimi out of him. Even his own dad started glazing Trunks, who just killed his son. At the start of the Buu saga, we saw what a grass-fed lion looks like via Gohan. It wasn't a good look, but luckily he can rely on his hidden potential to make up for his lack of discipline, which has been fully unlocked now thanks to a yoga crash course. He made a slick entrance with badass lines, and he made sure to back it with his favorite gut punch. But unfortunately, he didn't learn much from the Cell games as he continued to toy around until it was too late.
It's over, Boo. You can't win. So tell me, how does it feel becoming a god?
Goku already got one tapped in Super Saiyan 3 form, but he's back for more. This time, using the power of Saiyan friendship, he has unlocked the mythical god form. And to match the Battle of Gods, the animation was also god tier. For a period of time, this new form was sufficient to entertain the god of destruction. But in the end, Beerus reminded him there's a whole universe of beatdowns waiting. The animators went beyond manga, literally. The SSJ2 vs Kid Buu was not even in the manga, but they managed to make it better than most fights before even entering the third form. The best part of this fight for me was Vegeta's character growth. In fact, the whole arc brought us closer to Vegeta's desperate chase after Goku. He finally admits Goku's the better warrior, but despite admitting he had no chance against Kid Buu, he had zero hesitation to jump in to provide that extra minute for Goku. The final fight of the OG Dragon Ball was between a 3-year-old and a teen. For OG fans, the scale of this battle was insane. We had never seen explosions of this magnitude, making it the perfect gateway to Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo is probably one of the most technical fighters in existence, which is why it's no wonder that his ki blasts actually land. The martial arts aspect was also at its peak with actual strategy, techniques, creativity. We even see forgotten abilities like Piccolo's expansion jutsu, but he probably didn't expect Goku to come in his mouth. Nevertheless, it was an epic conclusion where Goku didn't just defeat Piccolo, he made him his babysitter for his entire lineage. We have a new art style, and it's also refreshing to finally see Vegeta receive some respect. The constant stomping he received in Z makes you forget that he is actually a prince, especially since he is one of the few characters who had a real character development going from a villain to hero. Vegeta's smile with the first clash says it all. He couldn't hide his feelings of being picked first. All his attributes were on display with his casual poses, arrogance, and brand new techniques. He was calm, cocky, and technical. We knew this was going to be an epic battle when Goku came out in his Super Saiyan state from the chamber. In fact, Vegeta spent twice as long just to get mocked by Goku.
Sure, I'm far above you.
What?
And he certainly backed his confidence with that calm, technical approach that matched perfect Cell. This fight was a technical masterclass. Goku showed impeccable timing and control before realizing he was getting distracted from his main mission, being a bad father.
You can do it, right?
So, he throws his son in to get tortured along with a Senzu bean for Cell.
Oh, that's that good shit!
Initially, Frieza's overwhelming speed and power forced Goku to rely on Kaioken times 20, a technique that strained his body to its limits. Even so, he couldn't finish Frieza, so the only logical path was to use our usual sacrificial pawn to trigger the most iconic transformation in anime history. In this new form, Goku's power, speed, and control overshadowed Frieza's, turning the tide completely. And what began as a desperate struggle became a one-sided dismantling that made Frieza commit. Vegeta cycled through all his transformations to get Broly's Zenkai boosted to a pretty monstrous level. Now that Broly's all prepped up, there was time to swap with Goku, who was step dancing in excitement. Broly is deep into his Berserk Saiyan state, but even in base form, Goku trades blows effectively before shifting all the way to Super Saiyan God, with maybe even a glimpse of Ultra Instinct during his blue transformation. In the end, all was futile when Broly finally gets into his legendary Super Saiyan state thanks to Frieza's Oscar-level performance. Gogeta finally makes an entrance, and the first thing he sees is Frieza trash-talking while looking like a puzzle piece the way he fits into that mountain. And from Broly's perspective, an unknown Super Saiyan jumps him out of nowhere and absolutely pummels him to the ground. He had no idea what was going on, but took it like the beast he is. The fight choreography had a ton of variety and not restricted to just flashes in the sky. We saw a range of skills and moves we have never seen before. The highlight of the movie was the first-person view of some of the action scenes, which we rarely get in Dragon Balls.
You guys done yet, or you want a hug too?
Nothing would repulse me more.
20 years ago, it would be unfathomable to see Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 working together to save the universe against someone who gave Vegeta the fatherly chop. The majority of the fight was Jiren being bored and flexing on pretty much everyone, and only the last few minutes became a challenge thanks to Goku unlocking a new transformation. But even then, they missed multiple opportunities to defeat him. First, Goku runs out of energy, then Frieza trash talks long enough for Jiren to regain confidence. However, that was all just a setup to showcase the most ironic moment in anime history, teaching Jiren the power of trust through Frieza and Goku.
The power of trust.
Goku finally arrived after one of the most legendary training sessions of all time. As per usual, after a training arc, Goku humiliates his enemies. The majority of the Ginyu Force were basically there to show how powerful Goku was. Only the captain was able to put up a fight. And by the way, this is the guy to blame for Gohan's wacky Ginyu poses in the future.
This might be a good time to go and get free!
Shut up, Chase!